Hey Carolyn, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. Alright, so last week I asked you to continue with the activity log.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that this
Yeah,
week too?
I did.
So tell me about it.
It's just like basically doing stuff around the house. Taking my sons to the activities that they have going on with the school, and then I was still playing piano a little bit, and wrote down whenever I was teaching, some clients that were pushed my way. So yeah, I've been keeping a record of it.
I know when I first met with you a few weeks ago that you said that you weren't motivated to get out of bed, because what's the point of getting out of bed or getting dressed if you had no place to go?
Mm-hmm.
So how much improvement would you say you've done?
I can't really put a number on it, but it's like I do still have to be there for my kids. So, when they have an event, it is my responsibility as a mother to, make sure they get there and participate. And if I'm not working, that's the least thing I can do. So, I have been motivated to get them where they needed to go. And, I've just been making sure that the house is clean, because it does feel better to have the clean house. And I think my sons appreciate it too, even though they mess it up all the time. But
That's what kids do for you. I think that's their job.
yeah, so there's that. But it's just like I'm doing some lessons part-time, but it's still not enough money to like really help. I can't say that I'm struggling, but it's just I'm used to working full-time, and I miss working full-time. And so it's kind of like a band-aid for me, but at the same time it's just I feel still feel like I'm lacking. And I like working, and I've always worked, so it's kind of like, yeah, it's cool that I can teach some lessons, but I still would like to have a full-time job and get back on my feet that way.
Well, I think you've made some major improvement, because when you met with me the first time, you said that there was nothing out there, that you couldn't do anything, that you felt kind of rejected, and you weren't good enough for anything. And you said that your number one priority was a job. That if you got a job, everything else would fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of discussed that that wasn't really it. You kind of also agreed that it was a lot more than just that. But with the job, you're working, you're doing something that you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a start.
Yeah.
So would you say that the job, the goal of getting a job is, how do you see yourself in that? Is it completed, or is it getting there?
I've been reaching out to my boss to see if he would have me back, but like I kind of have to wait for there to be an opening, and I'm not quite sure how long that would take, because I don't want to be just wasting my years away whenever I could be doing something that I really enjoy that I may not have been comfortable with, because I had been doing the same job for a very long time. And I could do something different, but I just don't know where to start. So it's just a lot of research that I have to do to, find a different area of work that's still within my interest.
Well, I think you found a good place to start with the piano teaching. Like, that's a really good start.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We discussed when you're on your priorities and of what's it going to look like when we finish. It's that you won't be thinking about your ex at all. You'll learn how to, because we said we can't cure, we can't fix everything. We can help you cope. That you'll be able to cope with your ex being gone, cope with stresses of daily life, of not having a job, and of your children.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you think that we are on those goals?
I still do think about my husband, but it's definitely not as frequently, and I don't think it's impacting what I have to get done that day. I'm still upset and, bitter about the whole situation, because, it's just a bad situation. But at the end of the day, you know, I think we have made a lot of progress together, and I think he just gave me the direction that I needed instead of just not really knowing where to start. And so, you know, the activity log and just trying to focus my attention has been a lot of help. But now it's just, I have to, you know, go a step further by just trying to normalize my life again and find a new normal without him. And I mean, my youngest son is still acting up, but I mean, my older son has been helping me with that. So just trying to, you know, find a common ground for our household, you know, without dad has been different, but I think now it's starting to like settle in and it's becoming a little bit more normal, so I'm not having to deal with a severe.
What's normal? What does normal look like?
Not having conflict every day, not, you know, acting out and lashing out of anger all the time, and sticking to routines and not reflecting on the negatives and bad situations that have going on. Because when we were all one big happy family, we just went through the routines, but there wasn't so much, you know, conflict between my family members. And so after my husband left, there was an upset of balance where my youngest son and my oldest son were not happy with the situation, and it was just a lot of tension that wasn't there before. So the normal to me is that not having that tension all the time within the house.
You said quite a few things that I kind of want to address, so we're going to go back to everything. That you were one happy family. Were you really?
I mean, I thought we were. I mean, I didn't find out that my husband was cheating until after he left and after he divorced me.
So not everyone was happy.
I guess.
And you were sticking to routines. Is not sticking to routine such a bad thing?
I mean, routines are put in place so they, you know, everything can work as a functioning unit.
Have you asked your sons what is normal look like for them?
No.
Maybe reflecting on the negative events, because you said not reflecting on negative events or situations. Maybe reflecting on the negative events might be helpful. What kind of negative events do you have in your family?
You mean now or before?
Now, we're just sticking the here and now.
Just the financial, you know, anxiety that I have. It's like my sons know that they can't just go off and, you know, do whatever they want because I don't have money to like pay for their school trips and everything. So they have to go to their dad if they want to do stuff like that. And
is that negative in your eyes or is that negative in your son's eyes?
In my eyes, because I feel like I'm not providing for my son.
But you're not the only parent, correct?
Yeah. But I mean, before, like, all of our finances were like combined. And so now it's just like after the divorce, like I lost my job because of my son, and so now it's kind of like my husband isn't affected, and I'm kind of upset by that because it's like he gets a new life, and it's just like, and he's financially set and he doesn't have anything to stress about, and it's just kind of like he left me and my sons in a bad situation.
I'm hearing you place a lot of blame on everyone else. I'm hearing you place blame on your son for letting you lose, for you losing your job, on your husband for your finances to be so bad. That's a lot to carry.
I mean, that's why I'm here, because I'm not right.
It sounds that You're putting the weight of your sons on you.
I mean, I brought them into this world.
What about their dad?
I mean, Dad's just always been off doing whatever he's doing, working. So it's like, in his eyes, all he had to do was put food on the table and his job was done. So all the extracurricular activities that my sons are engaged in, like, it wasn't Dad taking them there, it was me. And it's just kind of like...
So what would happen if you asked their father to pitch in more financially right now? Or pitch in with the disciplining, pitch in with spending time with his kids? What would happen?
It's just, he doesn't want anything to do with us. He wants to, like, go and start his new life with that other female that he has. And that's why it's causing problems with my son, is because they know that their dad doesn't care about them. And he doesn't want to talk to me. You know, we're going through a divorce, so it's like he's, you know, using that attorney excuse. Oh, I can't talk to you because my lawyer told me not to. And it's just like, how are we supposed to parent without communication? It's not gonna work. So I do everything on my own.
Well, it seems like you're doing a good job. You're holding it together, and you've come a long way. Because I know when you first came in, you said that your kids were not listening to you, they were not respecting you, and it seems that your older son is really working with you, is really respecting you, and yes, your younger son is still acting out a little bit, but you're going through some negative stuff, and he's affecting it as well. And my whole point of asking why can't we address these negative issues? Maybe he needs to discuss them with you. Do you talk about the kids about things?
Mm-hmm. A lot since the dad has left, and a lot since I've been coming here, because it's like we're all in this situation together, so we have to figure something out. You know, my sons were not okay with me, you know, laying in bed and not doing anything all day long, and so they're really the ones that pushed me to come to therapy. So now that I'm here, you know, we're all having to, like, work together to figure out how to just make this work.
Well, it seems like you're doing a good job of it.
Trying.
I think we're getting close to closure, to sending you on your way. Not yet, though. I just want you to start thinking about what would happen, or if you're ready to have closure. Just think about that.
Okay.
With the negatives, you want structure. You want to focus on things, and it's a lot of anxiety on you. So I'm not going to tell you don't worry. I'm not going to tell you don't stress or don't focus on it. But I'm going to ask you to put a time limit on it.
Okay.
Maybe what do you think would be a reasonable time limit that you can worry or stress or talk to your kids about it?
Maybe 2 hours a day.
How about we scale it back a little bit and say an hour a day you're allowed to worry, and only in that hour. Outside that hour, you're not allowed to worry. And maybe half an hour you're allowed to bring up negative things to them, but no time frame on how long they need to talk to you about things. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think you were doing an awesome job. You have come so far. Be thinking from now till the next time we meet, if there's anything else that you want to work on, any other goals that you feel like you want a little push, a head start in that direction, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, because I think the next step is just getting a job, and I know that's outside of your practice, so, you know, I think you've given me a lot of tools to carry with me to use.
Well, I appreciate hearing that. Have a great evening.
You too.